welcome back to my channel. It's Karen, Lavenderclothesline, and today I'm going to make a video which is the conclusion to switching things around in my home. So as many of you know, I recently, this past summer, took on YouTube, which caused great chaos, great fun, and I'm actually making some money at it. So I decided I wanted a YouTube studio, a room specifically to film for YouTube where I didn't have to set up the lighting and set up everything because my life is so busy with selling on eBay. Many of you know I bought this home with the direct intent of selling on eBay out of the house. So all of my inventory comes into this house, I process it in my home, and it gets stored here right on site. I used to say that I had a business in my home, and now I look at it that I have a home in my business. So I am always improving, always trying to streamline to make this all work like a fine, well-oiled machine. So today I'm going to bring you through the rooms that have made the biggest progress, the biggest changes, and show you what the process is of how my items come into this house, get photographed, and then go right into inventory. So first off, I'm standing in my living room, and this living room I try to keep things out of. I try to have this be my personal space. One of the recent improvements I did decide to make was to purchase a large TV, which I put over the fireplace, and that TV has caused me at the end of the day to throw my body on the couch, lay down and relax and watch some television, which most of my life I haven't watched a lot of TV, but I'm finding that this is a really good way to decompress. And now I get why many people turn on Netflix or turn on a movie and binge watch a little bit. So that's what that addition is. I don't know that if I didn't sell on eBay that I would have bought it, but it has turned out to be a great purchase. So I do count it as something that I purchased because I am an eBay seller. When you bring this amount of inventory into your home, it gets very hard to separate the work time from the relaxed time. You wind up always checking your phone, always, listing one more thing, always answering a question. But because I bought the TV, now when I turn that TV on, most times I shut my phone off. So it's been a great addition. The only other change that I made in this room is I painted the walls gray. This is Benjamin Moore Revere Pewter. It's become my favorite color, and it just gives a real calm feeling because that, again, is what I'm trying to accomplish, having calm spaces where I could just get away from eBay for a little while. Now let me say, as a little disclosure, once in a while I do bring a lot of inventory into this room that needs to be packed and folded. I store all of my inventory in my basement warehouse, and all of the clothing is packed with tissue paper into a clear poly bag, and those go into totes. So once in a while there is great craziness in the room. I bring hundreds of items in here and fold and pack while I watch TV. But for the most part, this space is off limits for eBay. So this is the formal dining room of the house, or formerly the dining room, but I have never used this as a dining room. I first moved into the home and made this the office for eBay. My desk was here, a little stand with the printer and those type of things. And I did have a shipping station here. As I went along, I realized that having my office in the front of the house was not the best choice, and I had painted the walls a linen white. So shortly after setting this up as my office, probably for almost a year, I decided to make this the eBay studio where I took photos. And we did do that for a while. I painted this wall here white, and my mannequin was on that wall. And then the rest of the room was just for measuring. With the addition of starting YouTube, I have now created a YouTube studio, and I am thrilled with this room now. So the walls got painted a third time. Yeah, so we went from linen white to an antique yellow to bright white. This white is Home Depot Bare Ultra Pure White, and it's my favorite white for photography. Now the light does bounce off of it sometimes and give a little bit of a gray, but for photographing, in my opinion, it's the best color I've found yet. I always choose it in a matte finish so it doesn't give off a weird reflection. So having said that, I will now show you what additions have happened in the room. I've taken away the desk and all of the office furniture. This piece here, I like to have interest on the wall. So this piece here I picked up at Goodwill. It was a dark iron color, and I just painted it as silver. I picked up this rug in Home Goods, and I just really like it. It kind of has a Nordic winter sweater, I don't know what to call it, a ski look to it, and I really like that. I'm going to say a Norwegian flair. Along with that, I picked up this table here. I found this table on clearance. It was a floor model in Wolf's Furniture, and it has two leaves that open up to be able to fit lots of hard goods. So I'm in love with this table. I do plan on putting caster wheels on it, because you know me, I'm all about having wheels on my furniture. So I will be picking up some kind of industrial wheel, and that way I will be able to wheel this table around for wherever I need it while making YouTube videos. I still have my ring light, and this year I have added these flat little lights, which I'm in love with. Now I'm going to say that they might be second to box lighting for the eBay photography, but for YouTube photography, you really want more light. Let me just say that a lot of you are so sweet to say, hey Karen, you're almost 60 years old. How do you look so young? Well, it's this secret here, a ring light. If I could have one thing follow me around in life, it'd be a ring light. I'm going to be bringing the ring light to the resellers meetup so all of you guys can try it, because I get asked so many questions about ring lighting that I'm going to bring it with me, and you guys can all take photos of yourselves with your new friends with my ring light. On this side of the room, I added just a few props or a few things to be a little more interesting. Previous to having any of this, I would just be throwing a mannequin back there. I was always looking for stuff to put back there so that it was interesting for you guys, so it wasn't a blank space on YouTube. But now I've added these few things. Most of this I bought at Hobby Lobby, yep, with coupons on clearance, all the things, and just to give you guys something pretty to look at. Moving over this way is the built-in for the house. Now this built-in was original to the house. And as many of you know, I've said before, I put glass on the top, which I use for different things. I will fold clothes up here, I will measure clothes. All of those things were done in the past, but now for YouTube, I'm really not using this a lot, but it's still great to have it in the house. This original piece was painted maple, and I've painted it white, and this is backup storage for all of my shipping items. I keep extra tape and poly bags. Padded mailers are in great supply in this house. You can order these padded mailers on the USPS website. They're free, and I get them in packs of 100. I use these every single day. So this is a great space. I'm thrilled with the update. I love the white, and it has been wonderful to have a YouTube studio where I can just leave it set up and film videos for you guys. I just have to get ready and come in and show whatever I'm talking about that day. One of the other reasons that I love furniture that has two purposes is that it cuts down on the amount of furniture I need. Having a smaller home, selling on YouTube, processing eBay, I really am very conscious of having all of my pieces serve multiple functions. So this table, which I just showed you, that was in front of the windows closed up, is now opened, and this is my dining room table. Now let me just say, when I entertain, I have the kind of friends and family that we all grab plates in the kitchen and sit around in the living room. We'll sit on the floor on big pillows. We're very relaxed. But this is great that this table opens up, that I can do bigger projects on it. I can use it for larger photography if I needed to, but most of all, I can actually seat 6 people around this to have dinner. So win-win situation when you can have items in your home. And in my office, I'm going to show you another piece of how I use a dresser as my shipping station. Even though this isn't really an update, I have used this almost the whole time for selling on eBay, is this old dresser. A dresser works perfectly for a shipping station. I love all of this. So once again, this isn't really a huge update, but I wanted to let you guys know who might not have seen this setup. This is amazing for getting your shipment out the door. Here I keep a bin of packing peanuts, which I stole this idea from Ann Eckhart. Thanks, Ann. I used to keep my packing peanuts in a bag, and it was always making a mess. But now I just have a tote of packing peanuts, some frequently used boxes, my dresser, which has all of my shipping supplies in it, and I've hung a closet rod to hang all of the tissue paper and bubble wrap. Guys, this works amazing. On top sits my little scale, and I process thousands of items right here on this shipping station. So win-win, love this. Another shot that I wanted to show is this is my desk area. I think it's real important when you work for yourself to put artwork or motivational pieces around where you're working. So here I have a sign I have always loved, and this is so me. She believed she could, so she did. It should say, even when she's crazy. This is a congratulations on my 1,000th listing. When I first started listing, this probably took me about a year and a half to get to 1,000, I think. Don't quote me on that. I'll have to look back on the stats. And this artwork I found in Goodwill. And I am going places. I might not be traveling around the world, but I am making great strides. So this is what my desk area looks like. And this is where all the money gets made. This is a little bedroom in the back of my house that formerly I would kind of just throw all of the clothing that I was listing that was waiting to be listed, and it would turn into a very crowded room of piles, and truthfully drove me a little crazy. So when I moved things around, I put everything downstairs that is processed, and this became the eBay studio. So this is the room that all of the inventory comes in when I come home. I pull in my car, I bring everything into this room, and this is where it gets processed and photographed. So as you can see, these racks back here are for the clothing. I hang everything up right away to stay organized. This table will receive the hard goods. I have my light box here for photographing small hard goods, and this is actually a tri-foam board that I picked up. I think I got this at Dollar Tree, and there's another board on the bottom, and the box lighting actually illuminates what I photograph in this board. So again, this is great. Everything is really running smoothly, and to me that's the secret of processing this much and having this big an eBay store in your home, is really honing it. Just keep honing so that you take the least amount of steps, so things become easier, so you can leave things set up. Because originally I had to set everything up. Every time I came home with things, I had to rearrange rooms, reset up lighting, and it was getting exhausting. So my goal was to have this run like a pipeline, just things moving in, selling, and moving back out. So I have two box lights that I really like. I do wish they were a little bit brighter, but they definitely get the job done. And you can see we have Betsy, good old Betsy. She's the only mannequin I'm using at this point. And I did put a command strip up on the wall for hangers. So this is the photography area for clothing. This is where Betsy lives, and this is working out really good. Okay, so we are down in my basement now, and there has been great changes down here. This took a long time to make the change, but it is done. I am thrilled, and I want to say thank you to my daughter Lisa. As usual, I always pull her into my craziness. This corner of the basement originally had two different things mixed. It had hard goods mixed with some of the clothing, and that was not working. When I look for an item, when something sells, I want everything to be the least amount of steps as possible. I know that sounds crazy, but when you're one person with 3,500 items on eBay, and you're making YouTube videos, and you're trying to have a social life, which right after this I'm going to play trivia with a bunch of friends, so that's great fun, you wind up realizing you really need this to be streamlined, a pipeline. Can I say that enough? So this area of the basement is now all hard goods. The majority of all the china, the dishes, all of that. The only thing that's not in this corner is electronics, and I think that's it as far as hard goods. So here, again, my shelves are not correctly labeled yet, but this shelving used to be down there. Now it's this way, and you can see I have all of my glassware, my china on it. This one is a mix of brass and metal and all kinds of stuff. Coming over here, you can see are all of this ceramics, pottery, and the bottom shelf has lighting. And then wood and wicker on this shelf here. So last time I showed you guys this basement, my desire was to group like things together. Here I placed the artwork. I used to have the shoes here. The artwork is on shelving, unfortunately, and has no wheels, but I did house this canvas bag type of enclosure. I don't know what we call these. It's like a shelving cover over the artwork to protect it. Now, I've always heard that artwork is supposed to be able to breathe, so I make sure this flap stays loose. That way air circulates and the artwork stays safe. So I've moved the shoe racks that used to be up that way down this way. Now that doesn't seem like a big deal, but taking all the hard goods off the shelving, moving the shelving, and then bringing the shoes down, even though it was work, very well worth it. I love the setup now. When things sell, if I have 30 items sell, I don't want to be walking back and forth for each thing. I want to go to that department or that area and be able to gather everything that sells of that type of item. So here I have my shoes, and here I just have a rack of clothing waiting to be folded because I am a little behind with doing YouTube also. And follow me down this way and I'll show you what happened down here. And down here in this corner, I've made great strides. Now a lot of these bins have tons of room. Before I had both of these shelves, they were linens, but now this whole shelving unit is belts and boots and handbags, so all of the leather goods. And this has made it really convenient when I go to pull shoes because now I have my shoe racks here and my boots right here. This rack now, which used to have like such a mishmash of stuff, is now primarily backpacks and luggage, but don't look at the fabric that I put there because I was too lazy to put it away. But yeah, so this is working out great. And as you can see, a lot of these bins are empty-ish. So now I can go out and buy more and fill them up. This back wall has become my linens and fabric wall. Everything from a quilt to an Afghan to curtains, tablecloths, Pottery Barn linens is all housed within this area. This has been terrific because before it was just spread out for some reason, and now again, all together, the least amount of steps is what you want to take when you're pulling inventory. And on a last note, this is probably my favorite change, which some of you might have seen this in the last video that I did about the changes happening down here, my shipping station. I put a station in the basement so that when I pull items that aren't quite packed out yet, I can do them right down here. Sometimes I pack them upstairs, sometimes down here, depending what I'm shipping, but I love this area. So behind me is a rolling rack that was given up by the women's jeans I took off. And this has all of my priority boxes. This over here is a clothing rack that I believe was bought at Walmart, and I bought this secondhand. Bubble wrap, lots of tape, all the things. And behind my packing table, a DVD player so I can watch Tom Hanks in Castaway or another favorite movie while I'm packing. Lots of packing peanuts, tissue paper, all of the things. The whole point is to take the least amount of steps, which I said before, and make it as easy as possible on myself. So thanks so much for watching this video about my updates. Please like and subscribe. And just a side note, I am so excited to meet all of you guys at the PA Resellers Meetup on February 27th, which is a Thursday night. And for those of you who can't make it, I'm hoping to post lots of videos and photos on our hashtag PA Resellers 2020. Thanks so much for watching, and go out and get what's yours.